If you're watching this and you own a restaurant, cafe, bar, or hospitality business, and you've been thinking about doing something for months, maybe even years, this video isn't going to be comfortable, but it might be the only thing that saves your business. Let's just call it what it is. You didn't build a business, you bought yourself a job. One with longer hours, more stress, and less freedom. And ironically, less money than when you were just an employee. You wear every hat: chef, cleaner, bookkeeper, manager, marketer, and you call that hustle. That's not hustle, that's a slow motion burnout with an ABN attached to it. And even with all of that, you're still hesitating, you're still waiting for the right time to invest in marketing. Still asking for guarantees like you're shopping for a toaster and not saving a business that's bleeding customers daily. Here's the real guarantee. If you keep doing what you're doing, your best months are already behind you. You're not stuck because marketing doesn't work. You're stuck because you don't know what does. You scroll through ads, you fill out interest forms, you book calls you never intended to commit to, and deep down, you already decided not to take action before the Zoom call even started. That's not strategy. That's self-sabotage disguised as caution. You want to know what really kills hospitality businesses? It's not competition, it's not rent, it's not staffing, it's you. Your fear, your limiting beliefs, your addiction to doing things the old way, even though the old way hasn't worked in years. And let me be very clear about this. No one is coming to save you. Not your landlord, not your chef, not your 5 loyal customers, not the 6 people who liked your Instagram post. You are either the reason your business grows or the reason it dies, a slow, painful death. So let's talk. Let's talk about the harsh truths holding most hospitality owners hostage. Let's talk about the mindset disease that's keeping your revenue capped. And let's talk about what happens when you keep waiting for certainty and wake up one day to find your doors permanently shut. If that scares you, good, it should. So how do I know all this? I'm not guessing. I'm not theorizing from some marketing textbook. I've personally spoken to over 300 restaurant and hospitality owners in the last 10 months alone. On Zoom, on strategy calls, listening to the same story, the same pain points, the same excuses, the same hesitation, dressed up as thinking about it. And you know what's scary? My appointment setter followed up with dozens of them just 6 months later, and too many of them were either closed down, burnt out, or completely off the grid. Businesses that said, we're not just ready yet, we're just gonna give it one more go with word of mouth. We're gonna wait until we have more budget. And guess what? The budget never came, the foot traffic never returned, and the one more go turned into a slow funeral with unpaid invoices and regrets. And the worst part, they knew they needed help. They knew that they were doing something that wasn't working, but the fear of change was bigger than the pain of staying stuck. That's the pattern. Over and over, restaurant owners running 7 days a week, pouring everything into the food, into the staff, into the venue. But when it comes to the one thing that actually drives growth, getting more paying customers, they freeze. Or worse, they convince themselves that they can figure it out later. Later doesn't come. Later is a now for lease sign in the window. Later is telling your staff you can't afford to keep them. Later is logging into your POS system and seeing another empty Friday night. That's the real cost of inaction. And I've seen it firsthand. You don't need another month to think about it. You need a moment of truth. So the real enemy isn't the competition, it's you. You keep thinking your biggest problem is the restaurant down the street, or Uber Eats taking a 30% cut, or some influencer not tagging you in their story. But let me say this as clearly as I can. Your biggest competitor isn't another venue. It's you, your own mindset, your own fear, your own excuses, your refusal to evolve. It's your outdated belief that if you just keep doing what you've always done, things will magically pick up again. It's your obsession with being in control, even if that control is driving your business off of a cliff. You know what's worse than making the wrong decision? Making no decision. While you sit here hesitating, calculating, overthinking, someone else took action. Someone else figured out how to keep consistently filling their tables while you kept hoping walk-ins would increase. I've seen restaurant owners put more energy into redesigning their menus than into marketing the damn place. I've seen people spend 100K on a fit out and then they say they can't afford to advertise it. You're not being cautious, you're being paralyzed. You've convinced yourself you're just waiting for the right time. Here's a reality check. If your business isn't growing, every day you wait is costing you more than you realize. What you call skepticism is actually fear. What you call doing more research is actually avoidance, and that's why you're stuck. You don't need to outcook anyone. You don't need another staff meeting. You need to get out of your own way because the enemy isn't out there, it's in here. So let's talk about the restaurant marketing myths that are keeping you broke and the absolute delusions most restaurant owners are walking around with. Myth number 1. good food is enough. No, it's not. It's 2025. You could have one of the best menus in the city, but if no one sees it, no one books, that's like having the cure to cancer and leaving it in the drawer. Visibility is the game, because the truth is, people aren't looking for the best restaurant. They're booking the one that they see first on their feed. Myth number 2, word of mouth is our strategy. Word of mouth isn't a strategy. It's the reward for doing marketing well. It's passive, it's unpredictable, it's dangerous to rely on when rent is due every single week. If your business plan relies on hope, you're already bleeding and don't even know it. Myth number 3, we tried ads, it didn't work. Oh, so you spent $100 boosting a post and got 3 likes, and now you've written off the entire 134 billion digital advertising industry? Let me break it to you. The ads didn't fail, you did. You didn't test, you didn't track, you didn't have the funnel, you didn't have the right creative, and you didn't give it time to optimize. Meanwhile, we've spent and managed over $500,000 in ad spend across restaurant campaigns in just the last 10 months. We've tested over 143 different offers, 200 plus headlines across multiple cuisines, venues, and locations. We know what converts, what flops, and what actually fills the tables. So when you tell me marketing doesn't work, you're not just wrong, you're speaking from a place of zero volume, zero skill, and zero strategy. Your belief that it doesn't work is based on what exactly? A boosted post from 2022, a $70 ad budget with no landing page, no retargeting, and no CRM. That's not marketing, that's digital charity. And this is what separates failing businesses from scalable ones. We test at scale, you guess at scale. Your limitations come from your lack of knowledge, time, team, execution, perseverance, and the saddest part is, most of you don't even realize it. You think you're being strategic by avoiding risk, but in reality, you're just protecting your comfort zone while your business bleeds out. Let's talk about mental masturbation versus the actual movement. This is something that no one in the industry has the balls to say out loud. Most of you aren't even actually trying to solve your problems. You're just mentally masturbating. You scroll through ads, you fill out interest forms, you book calls, you ask for strategies, advice, examples, breakdowns, and then you do absolutely nothing with it. Not because it wasn't valuable, but because you were never serious in the first place. You weren't looking for a real solution, you were just looking for a dopamine hit that made you feel like you were making progress. Let me ask you this, why the fuck are you even booking strategy calls? If you already know you're not going to take action, if you're not going to say, oh, that's not within my imaginary budget, you're not getting closer to your goals, you're just wasting your own time and everyone else's. And here's the part no one says. You don't even have a budget problem, you have a commitment problem. Because if you knew what it was costing you to stay stuck, if you knew the thousands you're bleeding every week by doing nothing, you'd find the budget, you'd make the investment, you'd move. But no, you come into these calls with imaginary expectations, you want a full-blown restaurant growth system for $300, and you want a guarantee before you even do the work. You want to think about it for another 6 months while your bookings dry up, you pretend you're being smart, but what you're really doing is lying to yourself. You don't have time, you don't have the team, you don't have the systems, and you don't even know what you don't know. And yet you keep collecting info like you're going to suddenly execute it all yourself while working 60 to 70 hours a week. You can't even reply to emails on time. Like, how the hell are you going to build and manage a full-scale marketing system? This is where most of you are stuck. Confusing activity for progress, reading blog posts, watching videos, sitting on webinars, getting high off the idea of building something, but never taking the uncomfortable step that actually matters, commitment. So I'll say this as brutally as I can. If you're not ready to take action, stop. Stop pretending that you are. Stop wasting time, stop wasting other people's time, and stop lying to yourself that you're doing something, because strategy without execution is just another way to procrastinate professionally, and that's why your business hasn't changed, because you haven't. Let's talk about the obsession with guarantees. I hear it all the time. Do you guarantee this will work? Can you promise a return? Can you guarantee I'll get X bookings in Y days? Let me ask you something. Did your landlord guarantee your rent would stay the same the next year? Did your food supplier guarantee prices won't go up again? Did your last staff hire come with guarantee that they'd stay for more than 3 months? Of course not, because nothing in business is guaranteed. Except one thing, if you keep doing exactly what you've been doing, you'll keep getting exactly what you've been getting. That's your guarantee. If you haven't grown in the last 6 to 12 months, if your bookings are unpredictable, if your foot traffic is drying up, and then the guarantee isn't the risk. The guarantee is in your inaction. You're guaranteed to keep working 70 hours a week, missing time with your family, burning out, watching your competitors fly past you, and eventually closing your doors. Not because your food sucked, but because you waited too long. You don't want to hear that because it forces you to take responsibility. It means you're the one in the way, not the market, not the chef, not the location, you. But here's the deeper truth. Waiting for certainty is the fastest way to kill momentum. The real winners, they move. They act when it's uncomfortable, they bet on themselves before everything is lined up perfectly. And that's why they grow. Meanwhile, you're still figuring out your budget, still talking to your business partner who hasn't touched your venue in 4 months, still telling yourself maybe next quarter. And let me tell you what next quarter looks like. Less revenue, more stress, same excuses. If you don't do something different, you're just gambling with your future on the belief that staying still is somehow safer. It's not. Playing it safe is why your business is at risk. And that's the irony. You think you're avoiding risk by doing nothing, but the cost of inaction is the riskiest move you could possibly make. Because it doesn't cost you $2,000. It costs you your business, your energy, your life, and everything you've invested leading up to this day. So let me leave you with this. A few months ago, we spoke with a restaurant owner. They were struggling, bookings were slowing down, staff was unstable, they were on the verge of burnout. We laid out the entire plan, the strategy, the ads, the website, the automation, the booking system, all of it. They nodded, they agreed, they said it was exactly what they needed, but then they said the most common, most dangerous words in the industry. We're just going to wait a few more months and try to make it work for ourselves. Fast forward 6 months, we followed up. Closed. They shut their business down, another empty venue, another family dream dead. Not because it couldn't have worked, but because they waited. That's the real cost there. It's not $2,000 a month, it's your time, your energy, your momentum, your window of opportunity that won't stay open forever. This is the fork in the road. Path 1, you close this video, you go back to your business as usual, keep telling yourself that eventually you'll figure it out, you wait until you're desperate, until you're behind on bass, until you're cutting hours, and by then it's too late. Path 2, you accept that doing it all yourself isn't working. You stop pretending you have the time, the team, the energy, or the strategy, and you let us come in and build the damn machine for you, because that's what we do. We take restaurant owners like you, burnt out, stuck, plateaued, and we give them their time back, their energy back, their freedom back. And here's what we've done for our clients in the last few months alone. $5,040 in bookings just from $280 in ad spend, $9,900 from $460, $14,420 from $350 Mother's Day campaign, and over $400,000 in function inquiries generated in the last 2 months. We took a restaurant from $47K to $60K per month in under 8 weeks, and 2 back-to-back record-breaking Valentine's Day for our Italian venues. And one of our clients went from $30,000 to over $120,000 per month in revenue in less than 6 months. So if you're still thinking about it after this video, then maybe you don't want it bad enough. Maybe you like the grind, maybe you're addicted to the chaos, but if you're done pretending, if you're done overthinking, if you're ready to actually build a business instead of just surviving another week, then book the call. Watch the strategy video, fill out the form, and let us show you what it looks like to finally get this right. Because the difference between a business that grows and the ones that closes comes down to a single decision. And this one is yours. If this hit home and if you felt this in your gut, then you already know what you need to do. Click the link in the description below or head to www.servemarketing.com.au. Subscribe to the channel because we'll keep dropping truth bombs just like this until you finally wake up. But don't wait too long because the next success story we post could have been yours. See you guys in the next video.